much good. People fall in the trap. Once we deal now, they stuck in a gap. Look nice on the ground, but inside they break. Every move they make is somebody dictate. But I got a voice and a future to shape, and I ain't gon' bend for no party's bait. I've no stand for truth and pride, so when I vote, it's by their side. I got a voice, and I go use it. I got a choice, and I won't lose it. Can't buy my voting, not with nothing. I standing up for my children and the country. If you think I'm foolish, I nobody plating. I voting up new, no one else but up new. Let them come with sweet talk, let them try persuasion. But this time around, we voting for the nation. I voting up new, no one else but up new.
Good evening and welcome to another My Faith Votes. Hey everybody, we've got a show for you tonight. We are putting people first. And welcome to those from region 1 to 10. Welcome to the diaspora. I know you're watching. Thank you for your comments. And we are excited. Think about it. You must make a choice. Yes, you must make a choice. We have corruption on our heels. We have crime on our heels. We have cost of living on our heels. But don't let me get too far, because our panelists are ready for you tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me say that you have got a choice to make. And I love that Dr. Terrence Campbell said that at New Amsterdam. But hello to my friends and the APNU team, Herstellan, Lenore Market. We had a great time on Friday and Saturday. So stay right there, stay tuned, grab your neighbor, grab a friend, even your girlfriend and your boyfriend, and let us have a great program to the honor, to the glory of God. So today, as you know, we are looking at our
we will ensure that this time around, our children would not only have access to free transportation to go to school, but every year they'll be entitled to $120,000 in 2 tranches. Comrades, you have seen what the PPP would have done to this country when it comes to education. They have destroyed education, but we will restore it. If you look at what they would have done to our children, all of the schools they've made, the secondary schools, they've made them secondary schools. Under our time, we had the multilateral schools. We had the community high schools where our children were taught a skill if they were not academically there. But all the PPP want to do is to ensure that our children are left behind. And when they are left behind, the police will shoot them down the streets. But we have a better plan. We have a better plan. Because we will revamp all of those curriculums. And we would ensure that every child has a space and that every child is valued in this country. We will ensure that. I want to say to you, comrades, I stand here tonight proud to wear this green t-shirt and proud to have this man on my chest because he has decency, he is intelligent, he has integrity, and he's honest. And with Aubrey Compton Norton as our president, we will see a new Guyana. Comrades, I want to say to you that right now, desperation is stepping in and they're getting confused. You walk around the streets in your community and you're going to see what was never done is being done now. But they can't fool us. When you walk around the streets, you're going to see they're saying cup, but they're so confused, they're representing it with a drum. Confusion in the place. Let me say to you, comrades, there is only one way to a better Guyana. There's only one way to a prosperous Guyana. And for Guyana to grow, the PPP got to go.
Hey there, welcome back. We are happy that Coretta McDonald was firing up there at New Amsterdam. It was great to see. So ladies, we are here for you tonight. We want to give you those bread and butter issues that are central in this campaign. Yes, grab a pen, grab a notebook. And yes, our men folk, you know, don't call me with any kind of scary kind of voice notes or whatever, but we are here for everybody. So let me now turn to our distinguished guests, because I'm sure they have a lot to talk about. Let me start with my immediate right. Dawn, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening to you.
How are you doing?
I am very, very good. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. So you heard Miss McDonald in terms of, great. So give us some opening comments in terms of what you heard, what you saw.
I think New Amsterdam is really, for me, the campaign really started to resonate with the crowd that was there.
Got you.
Dr. Campbell dealt with a lot of economic issues. Quinta dealt with the education and some other issues. And the leader brought it all together.
Right. No child left behind.
No child left behind. No adult left behind either.
Exactly.
No adult left behind.
You're perfect. Cynthia, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
How are you feeling this evening?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You look great. So in terms of the campaign, what would you say, what is really resonating with you?
The people's excitement basically for change, their desire to see a government led by a party that is of integrity,
right?
A president who will represent the interests of the people above infrastructure and all other developments. People do come first. I think what also resonates with me too is traveling around and noticing the different communities.
Yes.
I know PPP love to preach progress, but you don't
Okay.
actually see it on the ground.
Good point. Very
So
good point.
it is good to travel around to see what people are living through
Yes.
and to see their push and desire for change.
Great, great. Those are some great comments. Adriana, how are you?
Hi, Denise. I'm doing very well.
I haven't seen you in a while. You look great.
Thank you, and so do you and the other members of the panel. Hello, ladies.
Okay.
And hello to your viewers.
Sure. So, Adriana, in terms of this campaign, and like Ms. McDonald just explained to us, the importance of education. How do you see that in your, you can tell us in your brief comments.
Education is really the foundation of our development.
Good.
And I think what Ms. Corrector was dealing with at the New Amsterdam meeting, that was very, very important.
Right.
And mind you, Corrector was on fire.
Okay, yeah, she was. She was on fire. Yeah.
Corrector was on fire. And education is important.
Right.
And I think that we have taken a different approach
Yes.
to education in terms of the profile of education and our development agenda.
Right.
An APNU government, I know, will reposition the education on our development agenda. Because
Right.
ultimately, if you have a citizenry that is educated, then the sustainability that we are talking about will be assured.
Right.
Without an educated population, and education does not necessarily mean academics only.
Good point.
Right? Education also means in terms of vocational skills.
Okay.
It means
Yes.
in terms of understanding nationhood.
Right.
And I'll end here with this point in terms of developing common values and common principles. I
Right.
do believe that an APNU government will develop common values and common principles.
Right.
In terms of pulling the various diverse groups and sections of our society together,
Yeah.
so that we can move forward as one people, one nation, with one destiny.
Right. So good, everybody. And would you agree with me that ladies, women, females care about corruption? And you care about crime?
Absolutely.
Law and order?
Absolutely.
And what about the cost of living? Have you checked those prices in the market?
Yes.
All the time.
You can't help but check.
You can't help but check.
Because
So-
we don't have very deep pockets.
Yes.
So if you have deep pockets, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you don't have deep pockets, because you're doing honestly living, you ain't getting any contracts, any products.
Right.
You have to look at the price.
Yes, you have to look at the prices. Good point. So let's see what we have for all our viewers today watching us online. Okay, and drop those emojis. Yes, good night, ladies listening. Thank you, Carolyn. Drop those emojis in the chat. I like the green emojis. They look so special. So thank you so much for joining us, all of you that are here every Monday. And we're going to be here every Monday until August 25th for you, talking about the manifesto issues. And the manifesto is about to be launched. So keep an eye on that. So what issues are we going to look at tonight? Here is a list of them. All right, we're going to talk about managing our oil wealth. We're going to touch on issues like an advisory team of professionals. We're going to look at possibly establishing an autonomous petroleum commission. We're going to look at health and well-being. And then we will be looking at women's rights, dignity, and opportunities. You know, how do we implement that women's agenda? And how do we strengthen its WGEC? I believe, we recognize it as, but the Women and Gender Equality Commission, among other issues. We're not going to necessarily stick to these. So our oil wealth, that is a big issue on the hearts and minds of people. Talk to us, Cynthia. what do you want, especially that first-time voter, that voter that might be indecisive right now? Would you like to tell them about how we will manage our oil wealth?
Okay, well, thank you. So the oil wealth in Guyana, first of all, we are here as Guyanese.
Yes.
While we do not own the resources of our country, as Guyanese, we do have a right to it.
Yes.
We have a right to it, and we are mandated by God to access the resources, manage it properly,
Yes.
and to make sure it is equitably distributed among the citizens of Guyana, more specifically the poor and vulnerable.
Good point.
So an APNU-led administration will focus on the people first. It will reallocate oil resources rather than to, I'm not saying infrastructure is not important,
right,
but rather than make infrastructure the main focus,
right,
we will ensure that the people are put first, from womb to tomb. So early childhood education, secondary education, tertiary educational, vocational studies, all of those things will be looked at so that the resources can be adequately allocated to every sector. For women, it would make sure they have the right opportunities and access,
good,
and all of these.
Great.
Things, yeah.
Good point. Womb to tomb. I like that. Yes, I like that. Adriana, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Speak to us in terms of our oil wealth.
You took the words out of my mouth. Denise, and as I look at Guyana today,
yes,
I keep saying to Christians, we have been praying for years for we've been saying that Guyana is the breadbasket of the Caribbean.
Right.
We've been praying for years for a breakthrough in Guyana. And I was saying to them, now that we have the breakthrough, many of us are not benefiting from the breakthrough. And what are we doing about that?
Right.
And so you're absolutely right, Denise. The earth is the Lord's and its fullness thereof. But also the Bible says the blessings of the Lord make it rich and addeth no sorrow.
Come on
the
now.
oil is a blessing.
Yes.
But this oil has brought so much sorrow to us.
Right.
And I think that we talk more of the oil as a curse than the oil as a blessing.
As a blessing.
And I think what an APNU government can do is reverse that.
Okay.
Reverse that from the oil being seen as a curse,
right,
to the oil being seen as a blessing.
Good point.
And I like the theme putting people first.
Yes.
Because I think, just like Cynthia said, what we've been seeing is a lot of infrastructural development. Yes, we need infrastructural development, but development must not only be seen, it must be felt.
Yes.
And I think we're not feeling the development, we're seeing it.
We're seeing it.
We're driving on it, and we're so an APNU government we must see the development, but we must also feel the development. And so I see in terms of the management and administration, I do believe that an APNU government will be better, I would say, at managing and governing as it relates to the oil and gas resources. One of the points that you've made is in terms of having an independent commission.
Yes.
That commission must also be it must fall under some sort of legislation. It must not necessarily be, and I know Dawn will agree with me on that, it must not just be a body that is independent, but the body must also fall under some kind of act, and they must also be accountable to Parliament, not necessarily only to the executive, but also to Parliament. In Ghana, for example, Ghana's Petroleum Commission was set up by an act of Parliament.
Yes.
And they're also accountable to Parliament. So I think that we must endeavor to even there are lots of structural changes,
Yes.
which must be made by an APNU government.
Right.
Not just changes, but structural changes.
Right.
And some of those changes must be done in the oil and gas sector. My last point on this is that there must be some way to in our policy and
Yes.
strategy
Right.
to show how the oil wealth will go from all the way down to the ordinary citizens.
Yes.
How the ordinary citizens must benefit.
Good point.
And that must be in policy, in strategies, in plans. So it must be at the level of the Office of the President, but also the NDC, it must fit into the programs
Right.
at the level of the
NDC.
NDC. It must also fit into the programs at the it must be a part of the programs for the public sector, private sector, and the civil society sector.
Right.
And so it's people are excited.
Right.
People are
Right.
excited about a change. It's not just a change in government, but it's a change in worldview.
Right.
It's
Right.
a change in the perspective of leadership
Right.
and governance.
Right. And what you're addressing, Adriana, is a decentralization of that oil wealth.
Absolutely.
Right. Come filtering all the way through, which our manifesto will address. Now, thank you, Sasha, for looking at us from Suriname and French Guyana. Thank you so much, Sasha. Over to you, Don Kush. What do you think about the statement so far from your colleagues?
On Saturday night, the leader of Norton actually
Yes.
said the oil resources will be put in the hands of the people.
Excellent.
They will benefit directly from the
Excellent.
oil resources.
Yes.
I mean, we've had oil and there's this thing with local content for Exxon and so on.
Yes.
And what do they? What is the local content? They wash their clothes at the laundromat and they put that as local content. But a lot of the things that Guyanese should be a part of, or have the skills to be a part of, we don't get a piece of that.
Right.
Or maybe
right.
some people do and some don't.
Right.
But oil is a massive natural resource, and it must be handled properly.
Yes.
You know, when this government was last in power, there was a lot of criticism of the agreement with Exxon.
Right.
And this current government said when they came into office, they would change that.
Right.
They haven't changed
They
anything.
haven't changed anything.
They haven't changed anything.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a little unfortunate, but
Yes.
I came across this Bible quote today.
Yes, go ahead.
And it says, speak up for those who cannot speak for
I love
themselves,
that.
for the rights of all who are destitute. Proverbs 31:8. Now, we are here and we have to speak up
Speak
for
out.
those persons who can't speak up. Everybody doesn't have a platform.
Right.
We have to cater for the people
Good
who have been
point.
suffering, who maybe we don't even know who they are.
Right.
Right? People suffer in their homes. I visited a friend, and her neighbor was living in a house that had no front step or back step
Right.
because the landlord had some issues, took them down.
Right.
Right? So people had to help. I'm as an elderly person, people had to help the person down every day. I mean, those things are against the law.
Yes.
A landlord cannot do that at tenant regardless of how much rent is owed.
Right.
But those things happen. Now, people must be able to earn a living where they could, and APNO is proposing,
Yes.
you rent to own your own home,
Got you.
right? Because owning your home is a blessing,
Right.
right? And with the oil resources we have, everybody should be able to own their own home,
Good point.
right?
Very
Whether you're
good point.
married, whether you're single, everybody. We have the young professional scheme.
Yes.
I never see one for old professionals like me. So, you know, but it's a serious point. So, I mean, only certain people can benefit from those things.
Right.
We want to have a broad-based approach, right? Where the people who are destitute, we will speak for them.
Yes.
We will ensure that what they need, we will assist them to get it.
Got you.
APNO is a people-centered government. Will be a people-centered
Centered,
government.
right.
And the whole thing of putting people first means exactly what it says.
Yes.
And that must resonate with the viewers and with the people out there.
Good point. First time voters, you heard it from the lips and mouths of women tonight. You heard it. Speak up. Managing our oil wealth will not only take certain managers, it will need we will need to get on board with a decentralized process. And, from Adriana, the NDC is right into the community. From the community is right into the family, your doorstep. So we want you to speak up. So we will now listen to our second video in terms of a female speaker at one of our rallies. Take a listen.
We are saying that everyone that earns under $400,000 will not be taxed. You will not be paying any income tax once you're getting $400,000 and less. So immediately, let me tell you what that does. All teachers and nurses, all our policemen here today, you will be paying no tax under an APNU administration. When I tell you I made a decision to be with the APNU because it's a principled decision, because it's people-centered, this is what I'm talking about. When it comes to assistance, a lot of time our colleagues, our children have to study after secondary school, and it's difficult. We're saying that once you are studying after secondary school, you're going to be getting at minimum an assistance of $50,000 every month. Every single person in Guyana that is studying after secondary school, whether you go to the University of Guyana, teachers training college, whether or not you go to a technical training institute, you will be getting that money. It is just to support you to get some basic needs. For our little children, we say that we will be giving all children from birth right through school $120,000 every single year. Because we must make sure that you have enough money in your pocket to do what you need to do to make sure that our children are taken care of. When it comes to our elderly, and I see the flag being placed here, and it is a fitting flag. This is a fitting flag because this is a policy position that we feel very strongly about. We see there APNU $100,000 monthly for pensioners. $100,000 every pensioner will be getting every single month, because these are things that you need to help you in life. We will not make sure that you go out there. We will not have you going out there and lining up in the sun for $100,000 once every year. $100,000 every single month. And you know what they're going to ask? Because I can tell you what the PPP is saying right now. The PPP is on the television saying, oh, we can't do this. They're making lofty promises and we can't afford it. Well, it so happens that I'm the person that deals with finance. And I'm telling you we could afford it. I am telling you that right now, the PPP government have wastage in spending, money that they can't account for, of over $300 billion. Over $300 billion they cannot account for. And you know who's saying that? Not me. This is a World Bank report. The World Bank came to Guyana, made a report, and this is what it showed. That they cannot account for over 40% of the capital expenditure. And the capital expenditure is over $700 billion.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Panelists, the viewership is going up right now, and we appreciate you, especially you from regions 1 to 10 watching us, and in the diaspora around the Caribbean, maybe in the United States, Florida, and Maryland, New York, wherever you are. Thank you so much. But we want you to act. We just don't want you to sit here and look at us. What about that first-time voter in your family or in Guyana? Tell them to go vote for the APNU. My mom likes to say, for Guyana to grow,
PPP
The
must
PPP
go.
has to go.
And my grandson has been saying that over.
Oh, my mom has been saying that all the time.
They hear something
Yes,
like
yes,
it's
catchy, right,
catchy. So I
right.
said, I'm glad he's not in school, it's a holiday. Because he'll be telling everybody after school.
Good point.
Right?
Good
But the
point.
point is, it has resonated with people,
Right.
and it is simple.
Yes.
It's not a lot of hogwash and
Got you.
It is not one Guyana, which we all know is not what it says,
Right.
but the complete opposite. So we need to put people first.
Right. Exactly.
And the people need us
yes.
to put them first.
Put them first. So what about your health and your well-being? I think that troubles a lot of women and men too, but we are concerned with our health, our mental health, the health of our children. We're always thinking, don't go out there, put on your slippers, cover your head, you're going to catch a cold. Our health and well-being, let's talk about that for a few minutes. And we have some of the worst indicators. We're not getting a true picture out there of where we are as Guyanese in every region. So talk to us, Adriana, in terms of our health and well-being tonight.
I worked in health for a long time.
Yes,
so
okay.
There is no, we say in health, there's no health without mental health.
Got you.
And you can't say, when mental health is an integral part of being in good health. But let's come back to the Bible. There's a scripture where the Apostle Paul said, may you be in good health and prosper.
Yes.
Even as your soul prospers.
Yes.
Because your soul does not necessarily is not affected by diseases and sicknesses, etc. So our souls are prospering.
Yes,
prospering.
Yes, I have that right
so
here.
The scripture said, may you be in good health and prosper, even as your soul prospers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, and it comes back to the oil being more of a curse to us than a blessing.
Right.
And I think particularly since oil has triggered a lot of issues which perhaps were latent, which were silent in Guyana.
Right.
And oil has brought those issues to the fore.
Yes.
And a lot of those issues, the way our country is being governed, it's affecting our mental health.
Yes.
It's affecting our and we hope that an APNU government will focus on not just physical health but mental health also, and will be cognizant of the well-being of the people of the country.
Right.
And if you have to think that, if the government is building a road through my private lands, they're going to take 600 feet of my reserve, right? That affects your well-being.
Yes.
It affects your mental health.
It does.
But if you know that an APNU government, like it was before, we've never had to worry about the government taking away our reserves, right? Because they're building a road. They're using our monies to build the roads through our communities and want to take our lands 300 feet on each side.
Right.
So we would like for an APNU and AFC government, you're building a road through communities. Citizens and residents landowners should not have to worry about how much land the government will want or will force them to take from them. So I just wanted to give an example of how our well-being is being affected. Last example is the prices. Fruits in this country, the fruits are too expensive. Right. And we need to do something. The APNU government need to do something about fruits.
Right.
I ask myself sometimes, it's difficult for me to buy fruits because fruits are so expensive.
Yeah.
One pear is somebody told me $1,500 for 2 pears the other day.
That's messing with your mental health.
That's messing with your mental health. So how many pears can a mother with 4 children? You understand? So some people are not eating fruits. They can't afford to buy it.
Right.
A simple thing like can't buy fruits.
Good point.
It's affecting your nutrition and it can affect your well-being, your mental health.
Yes. Don Kush, what do you say about health and well-being?
I have struggled with illness in the past.
Yes.
So I could relate to everything in terms of this. I was terminated by the PPP and I went into a very deep, dark place of depression in 2020. It bothers me up to now.
Thanks for sharing.
I had to get professional help because it was that bad.
Yes.
But because of the support I got, I was able to get back. Because I mean, I was
Excellent.
whatever, how whatever I was, and I didn't want to go back into private practice.
Got you. Okay.
But I had no choice.
Right.
Because you have to survive.
Yes.
But in terms of our whole healthcare needs to be
Revamped.
revamped.
Mhm.
The maternal deaths
Yes.
have been an issue.
Too much.
There are a number of families. I also have another issue of families taking their relatives to the Georgetown Hospital
Yes.
and leaving them there. Right? I mean, something is wrong in the system now. What ought to happen? There should be somewhere we can move those people to, so they don't occupy beds in the hospital.
Yes.
Right? So we need to have either the Palms or some other institution. Because people have nowhere to go, they put the papers in the newspaper. Nobody went to collect them. You know, I mean, so we have to cater for situations like that. It will be costly,
Yes.
but we have to do it. But in terms of the eating right and the diet and all that, we're in a bad way. And what upsets me, we grow so many of our own foods here, and we're selling apples and grapes and pears, foreign pears, and all those things, and cantaloupe, right? And I'm seeing people who I know can't afford it. The children say, "Oh, I want grapes," and they're buying it. No.
Eat a banana.
Mr. Barnum had a vision, and I'll always go back to him.
Yes.
We must feed, clothe, and house ourselves.
We
have the ability to do that.
Good point.
Right? I grew up without having apples, grapes, any of those things.
Right.
And I think I have a problem today without that.
Right.
So we need to look at those things and all of that. And we need to have in terms of agriculture, we need to decide what our focus will be.
Yes.
We need to have the cash crops. We need to have people managing that. I'm involved in a co-op that will be developed at the MMA.
Yes.
Right, which once it comes into fruition, will be a very, very good project, and we hope from that other cooperatives will be formed.
Right.
Which will be a village setting with all the facilities. So we could just hope that with APNU, we could have some sort. I mean, you really can't put price control to some extent because all foods tend to be seasonal.
Good point.
Right? So like when sorrel is in, it's in. It's cheap.
Yes.
But when it's out, it's out. You know, till the other I was getting 10 mangoes for $100. Now you're getting, I don't know how many mangoes for $1,000.
Right.
But that is the problem. So, but we need to have something where we make the mangoes into juice, something.
Yes.
Right? Long ago you had GMC. We did a lot of work with local foods.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Right.
Yeah, and just one last point. You know, long ago we used to use raisins, prunes, and currants to make black cake. We haven't done that for years. We buy the Three Counties fruits, which is made from the DDL, and it is perfect. So we're using our own fruits to make our cake, and it tastes better to me, right? But we have to support the farmers, right? And we have to try to work out something in terms of our health care, because the rich people could always go to the private hospitals. Right. They could always run to the private hospitals. The Georgetown Hospital they could have a 4-hour wait.
Yeah, that's what the APNU will correct. And before Cynthia, you come in with some of those APNU initiatives, I want to thank you for watching us from the Northwest. I just saw that in our comments. And let me drop this in your spirit, what Dr. Terrence Campbell says, because you must make a choice. He said in New Amsterdam, we have to choose between corruption or competence, poverty or fair distribution of wealth, justice or injustice. Cynthia, talk to us in terms of our health and well-being and those fabulous APNU policy initiatives.
Okay, sure. So first, what Dawn and Adriano are pointing out essentially is a lack of planning by the PPP government.
Good point.
They do not believe in feasibility studies. They do not believe in making plans. They do not believe in that. The experienced politician, as he calls himself, says you don't need a feasibility study. If you see something needs to get done, you get it done. You don't need a feasibility study to tell you to get it done.
Right.
The problem there is that you need a plan, a structured plan, not because you have the money, you will spend it.
Right.
How will you spend
How
it?
will you
How
spend
will it
it?
affect stakeholders?
Right.
How will it affect other people in the industry?
Right.
You need structured plans. And that is why I believe in an Aubrey Norton-led government, because not only has he competently gathered a group of experienced intellectuals to lead Guyana when he gains government on the 2nd of September.
Yes.
But also he has thought of every little thing.
Yes.
Every little thing. What we're seeing right now in Guyana is that if a hospital, for instance, is perhaps not as developed as they want it to be, they build a hospital, another hospital. There's no planning there. They just put up a structure, and what you'll find is a number of key issues happen there. One, the structure is probably not in a suitable area because you did no feasibility studies. You don't know if that area is the best area to put the hospital or not.
Good point.
The second thing is lack of equipment in those hospitals, because only recently we heard of a young lady dying in after she was not treated at the Diamond Hospital because allegedly they didn't have oxygen. Then the most important part, the lack of ability to invest in your human resource adequately and to competently compensate them for their services. So you're paying your nurses and your doctors wages that are unacceptable, unlivable. And what is happening is that they are forced to migrate to seek other opportunities, and you're leaving a deficit within the health sector. The APNU government is focused on delivering high quality health outcomes for all age groups and genders with smart objectives. So this goes beyond just building a hospital. This is building a hospital but ensuring it's in the right community. It's building a hospital and making sure that it's equipped to handle the issues that may come out of that community, because you can't have a specialty hospital, let's say, that is treating an issue that is not affecting the people of that community. You need to do your studies, you need to do your plan, and you need to execute well. The APNU government will have all of that, and they will deliver.
Yes.
I just wanted to say one thing.
Good point.
The PPP has hired someone to recruit nurses from India.
Okay.
These nurses, now they have to pay their airfare, they will pay their rents, right? And they're going to pay some of their expenses. And I'm sure that when you work with what they're getting, it's much more than what our nurses are running from. And that is just blatantly unfair. And in addition to that, when these people come here, they have a little language barrier sometimes. Not all of them. Some of them are very fluent, but you have a little problem with it. And then there's the issue of their certification. Right? That has come up in the past where people say they're a doctor or whatever, when it is not out. It is not so. And that is a very scary situation.
That's scary.
And Denise, I'd just like to quickly build on a point that Dawn made about the those persons, the firing of persons in 2020 when the government came in. And how it has affected not only the mental health of those who were fired, but even of family members. And I think what was very often you hear people say that, oh, in the sugar industry, the previous government had laid off. But I worked in the sugar industry. And we had a program where all of the employees, we trained the doctors at Gaisuko. We trained the nurses in terms of to provide psychosocial support. We also worked with those employees who were laid off. Even the Minister of Agriculture, what we had done, we'd gotten like a list of all the vacancies in all of the other ministries, and we were making those lists available to those employees who were being laid off, so that they would have known these are the vacancies which are available in other ministries. And so that they can access employment. But one of the things that I think this government did that was different, this government also, it's almost like people became persona non grata. And I've never seen this before. Like I said, even the Minister of Agriculture at that time was assisting with finding employment for those persons who were laid off. What this government did was, it's almost like they set out to destroy persons. And I think it was at some point we need to talk about it, because a lot of, I heard Dawn said she's hurting. I am still hurting. I know people who are hurting because it wasn't just losing your job. In some cases, people lost their homes, they lost children, because all sorts of things happened. And at some point, we need to address that. My last point on this is that the an APNU government, you know, a young person was talking to me the other day, and she said to me, Miss Adriana, you mean when a government change, they always lay off people and treat them like this, right? She said, but that's not right. It's not right. So what we're hoping is that an APNU and AFC government will, and sorry, I keep saying AFC, old habits die hard. I am so sorry.
Okay.
But an APNU government will be more humane. Will operate at a high level of, will respect humanity, our humanity, and our human dignity. They will operate with a higher level of integrity, because these are real people that we're talking about. And so that is an issue I can tell you that I've talked to, because we used to run a program, the Next Level Network, to support those persons who were laid off. And I can tell you that there's still a lot of hurt in the society, and not just hurt because the government has been preventing those persons. So for 5 years, people have not worked, and some people do not. The only hope a lot of professionals have of getting another job in Guyana is if the APNU government should win this this election.
Absolutely.
Great. So thank you so much for your comments. It's coming down to program time, guys. You know, time goes so fast when you're having a lot of fun. So now we will just take a little clip, 2 minutes, from another female presenter on the campaign trail.
I swear, that I will never itch to different poor people where my greatness wish.
Good night, Bagotville. Good night, wherever you are tonight. Good night, APNU's in the house tonight to bring to you our people development strategy. Wherever you are tonight, I trust that you will be excited to come out of your homes, come out on the veranda, come out on the streets and listen to us tonight as we give you information that is important for you come September 1st, 2025. Bagotville, good night. It is indeed an honor to stand here tonight to speak with you. Like the songwriter just said, I am directly speaking to our young people right now. Some of you may be feeling a little distraught, you know. Some of you may have a lot of things bothering your mind. Some of you might be wondering what really is going on at this time in Guyana. You look around and you see all sorts of things, you hear all sorts of things on social media. But tonight, Bagotville, young people, I want you to hear me. Tonight, lots of you may not know the looming dark history of the PPPC party and currently the government that is controlling the wealth of this nation. But it is important for you to know that many young people like yourselves would have lost their lives under a PPPC government. Let me repeat that tonight. Many young people would have lost their lives under a PPPC government when they were there for 23 years. Now they have returned to government from 2020 to now. We can speak of all the murders. We can speak of all the injustices. And so tonight, young people, I am saying to you, do not be disheartened. Do not hope. APNU on September 1st, 2025. Tonight we say, for Guyana to grow, for Guyana to grow, the PPPC must go. For Guyana to grow, the PPPC must go.
All right. You heard the voice of our own friend and colleague, Nima, out there from Maka. She is just fired up.
Very.
So we have a little surprise for you right now. And I must say, ladies, the Bible portrays women as strong, talented, skillful. As Dawn said a few minutes ago, they spoke up. So right now, I'm going to hand over to my co-moderator, and she is going to speak truth to power in terms of women's issues, their dignity, and their opportunities in the APNU. Over to you, Cynthia.
Thank you. So this segment, like my co-moderator would have said, is focused on women's rights, their dignity, and access to opportunities. In Guyana, we notice that women are treated sometimes as second-class citizens in our own homes.
Yes.
When we attempt to do anything in the country, it is after a man would have had to weigh in, perhaps.
Right.
There's so many examples. Yeah. I'm not saying that's the case all the time.
Right.
But there's so many examples where women would present themselves to the forefront, and they're only seen if a man would have stepped down or a man says, yes, go ahead. Right? So my question is, Adriana, did I pronounce it correctly?
Audrey. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
That works. It's Adriana, but Adriana works.
Okay. So my question to you is, an Aubrey Norton-led administration, what do you hope to see from that administration in terms of women's rights and our access to opportunities in Guyana?
One of the things I would like to see is it's more equity as it relates to, because we still have men are being paid more than women. I would like to see more equity. I would also like to see a culture develop of respect for women. For example, we take it for granted that all of this music that we're hearing in the, let's say, public transportation, even in private transportation or in the public spaces, that about all of these derogatory things about women. We take it for granted that this is a common culture. And I remember having to talk to a few people about this should not be. And they said, but this is happening all over the world. And I said, no, it's not. So one of the things I'd like to see under an Aubrey Norton led government is a culture of respect for women, greater respect for women. I remember walking down the road one day with my daughter, and somebody said to me that, Auntie, that is your breed. And I remember walking down the road as a girl with my father, and people will say to me that, good afternoon, I was referred to as Miss. So I would like for us to develop again a culture of respect for women and girls. I saw a minibus driver passing a young girl, and he said, where am you going? Right? And that should not be, if you travel and go to other countries, that's not normal. It is not normal, it is not common, and we should not accept it as being normal. So that's one of the things. The other thing that I would like to see is in terms of the family. A lot of women are struggling.
Yes.
Women are really the shoulders upon which families are standing. And I would really like to see an Aubrey Norton government make life easier for women and women in the family.
Yes. All right, thank you for your point of view. I move to Ms. Dawn Kush. Given your line of work, I know you would have seen many cases of gender-based violence presented to you. One of my favorite stories, if I may just go into it for a bit, is from the Bible, where the religious leaders presented a woman to Jesus to stone, and he said to them, "He without sin cast the first
First
stone," and no
stone.
one could have. We know, of course, in those days, women were stoned for sexual immorality. And what I love about the story, there's so many things you can get from it, but what I love most about that story is that women are deserving of chances, second chances, third chances, whatever, and there is no circumstance under which violence against women is acceptable. So, my question to you is, what do you believe could be done by an or will be done by an APNU-led administration to create more friendly and women-sensitive attitudes in spaces and systems, like, for example, the Guyana Police Force, the magistrate court system?
Well, I think just from looking at APNU's list of candidates, right? It's what I would call a class list,
Correct.
sheer class,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the women on the list. Dr. Murray, Nima
Yourself.
Flubes,
Coretta McDonald.
Coretta McDonald, and
Mhm.
and so many others, right? Now, once you have those women on board, and I know Aubrey Norton for over 40 years, he will listen to what we recommend. And of course, it must make sense. We're not fools.
Right.
So if we go to him and we say, look, we think you should set up maybe a ministry of women's affairs or gender affairs and so on, I think he will do that. But more than that, we have to get into the schools with the very, very young children and teach the little boys that they must respect the girls, right? I have a grandson, and he always says, Granny, a girl hit me and I didn't hit her back. I will never hit a girl, right? But I have a problem with the girl hitting him, right? So, and I always tell people, we have to say that violence on any level is wrong. They can't resolve any dispute with violence, right? The experiences, the things that I've seen as a magistrate are extremely horrible, right? And those things have gotten much, much worse now. The police seem sometimes ineffective. People go and they make a report, and then they go back and they say, no, I don't want to follow up with this matter anymore because we made up. No. The matters must be heard, right? Regardless of what the court. I sent a woman to prison because she wouldn't give the evidence. Because if you go in the box, and I told her, I said, Madam, I want to save your life. I want to see you another time, because when I was sitting at Providence Court, 2 women died in matters where I granted bail to their paramours. And that lived with me. So those things you never forget. So I mean, it's just about making women have to be the priority in any part of the world. Right? We have the numbers, we bear children. Right? And we look after our men, whether it's our brothers or father or whoever it is. We are so multidimensional. If you sit and think of the roles that we play.
We are multidimensional.
Yes, because a woman could be a professor.
Yes.
And she goes on and she will cook
Yes.
every day. She will do laundry.
I like that. I like this.
Yeah. She will look after her children and her grandchildren, and it is effortless.
And still look cute.
It is effortless. That's correct.
And still looks good.
And it's effortless. That's right. Right? And the next day she puts on her suit and she goes out to work. That's correct. And she's respected in the workplace. And she's also respected in her home.
Good point.
Because her home is neat and tidy. Because she does what she has to do. I grew up with a mother who did that. You know, my grandmother in the old time days, none of my grandmothers worked. But my mother was a teacher for many years, and then she was a librarian at the University of Ghana. Right? So I mean, she was a professional woman, but when she came home, she was mommy.
Right.
You know, and when I go home, I am granny, mommy, and I'm a wife.
Right.
But I have a very good husband. So
Yes, you do.
yeah. He's not a man who sits down and feels, you know what, my wife got to do everything. You know, it's a kind of 50-50 partnership.
Yeah.
But if you marry a man who's not like that, there's nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong. Because if a man has grown up with his mother doing everything for him,
Right.
it is difficult for him to change. I mean, you got to make him change along the way, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
initially, you know, you just have to just walk with the program.
Yes.
You know, so things will definitely get better with the team that we have, and this same team is going to grow and grow and grow, right? Because people like to see strong women leaders.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And
so true.
APNU has that in
Yep.
abundance.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? APNU has that in abundance.
Good point.
So,
Mhm.
you know, once you're with APNU, you can't go. I want to make one last point.
Okay.
When you talk about the lyrics, there are two songs. Singing Sandra sang a song called Die With My Dignity. Right? When she says, you know, when you go for a job interview, the men want to touch you all over, but she can die with her dignity. And then we had Vibes Cartel, who has the most vulgar lyrics,
Okay.
being entertained by the president, at not at his private residence, at State House.
Mhm.
And that was so offensive to me.
Mhm.
Because if you just go and then you put in Vibes Cartel's lyrics, you will shock what you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally vulgar and disrespectful of women.
But Denise, on that point, you know, the Bible says what we allow in the earth, we as children of God will be allowed.
Okay.
What we disallow in the earth will be disallowed. The Bible says what we bind on earth is bound in heaven.
Yes.
What we loose on earth is loose in heaven.
Come on now.
And I think a lot of the things we're talking about tonight, as Christians, as children of God, we have allowed them to happen in our country by staying quiet. Because we put our children in those buses with all of those lewd music, and we don't stand up and say, we would like public transportation to take our children to school
Right.
without this lewd music.
Right.
We do not stand up and say that we would like to, in public spaces, for the music to be respectful of women.
Right.
So we need to, as children of God, we need to start disallowing some things. And we need to start saying, not depend on the president necessarily, but we need to speak to certain things and say, we disallow this in our country.
Right.
And the Bible says what we disallow on earth will be disallowed in heaven. What we bind on earth will be bound in heaven. What we loose on earth will be loose in heaven. So I also believe that as Christians, we have a responsibility to sort of take our place in Guyana and disallow some things.
Right. Right.
So before I pose my last question to you, Denise, I
Right.
just want to remind the viewers
Yes.
who may not know or who are first-time voters, when you are giving your ballot paper, you'll see one set of elections to the top and to the bottom is
Right.
another. The top set is the general elections and the bottom is the regional elections. So you have to remember you're putting two X's, once at the palm.
At the palm.
Let me
Yes.
raise my hand. Once at the palm, at the top for the general elections, and then once again at the bottom for the regional elections. One thing that I like about Mr. Norton is that
Yes.
he listens.
Okay.
I work very closely with him here at
Okay.
Congress Place,
Sure.
and he is a man who listens, especially to women.
Right.
Denise, I suppose my last question to you.
Right.
I want to ask you, what are some of the pointers? What are some of the areas ACNU is hoping to address once we take office September 2nd?
Yeah,
with
that's
concerning women's rights.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Let me say quickly, number one, the listening component is very important.
Oh, yes.
Right? Because you have in our various communities, women of varying backgrounds, diversities, ethnicities. And if it's one thing I'm seeing on this campaign trail as I crisscross in region 3, 5, 4, is the listening component, right? Number two is, can they go to a particular facility for services? If so, where it is. Am I welcome? You know, I'm a rural woman. Am I welcome at that agency? Do I have to put on a 3-piece suit, you know, and come there? Do I have to flash a party card, you know, and come there? No, they can come as you are. So that women's agency, that commission will be vitally important. Now, number 3, and finally, is my business going to be up on Facebook? Or will it be in the community? Or will, you know, my family member hear it in the diaspora even before I get home? So confidentiality it's of utmost importance when you're working in any agency. You don't want, you know, employees snickering behind your back. Did you hear what happened to Jane last night? You know, could you believe she got herself in trouble again? No way. You know, we have to deal in a new government very, very professionally, right? We don't want, you know, this agency telling business and that and you're waking up in the morning and you've seen it all in the newspaper. No. So that starts with the head right down to the tail, you know, within an APNU led and be, you know, for the people. I mean, you got plenty things here, putting Guyana first, putting people first, you know, putting small business first. So yes, putting people first is very important.
Okay, thank you so much. And I want to say, I'm closing out, right?
Right. Yeah. So that was good, Cynthia. And we are coming down to the wire. You know, I want to give these ladies just about 1 minute because I'm sure Master Control is like, you know, we're really going beyond program time, but this was really dynamic tonight. Is there any quick thoughts, any one of you? Good job, Cynthia. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Great.
Yes.
I just want to go to the Holy Book.
Yes.
And I was looking to the divine establishment of authority.
Got you.
Romans 13:1. Let everyone be subject to the government authorities.
Come on.
For there is no authority except that which God has established. This verse confirms that all governing bodies get their legitimacy from God.
Yes. Powerful.
So in addition to putting people first,
yes,
you're also putting God
first. Yes. Couldn't have said it better.
And the Bible also says to admonish each other in love.
That's right.
So even if it is your president,
Of course.
admonish each other in love. And Denise, I'm from the East Bank. I'd just like to quickly say Grove, Craig, Hope, Friendship. We're going down the line. Friendship,
Okay.
Farm, Covent Garden, Diamond, Land of Canaan, Garden of Eden, Supply, Relief, Support, Sarah Johanna, Pearl, Coverdon, Suzike, Timeri, Mad Winnie, Yara Cabra, Kilfoot, Kurukuru, these are all my neighborhood.
Your stomping ground.
Yes, my stomp. Long Creek.
Yes.
And
Blue Creek.
Exactly. Luluni, Vote, APNU,
Good.
and to put people first.
Brickery.
Right? We want the
Brickery.
Yes. Exactly. We want the East Bank, East Bank all the way to Timeri. We would like for the those along the highway, the Suzak Linden Highway, come out and vote APNU so that we can put people first under the leadership of Mr. Aubrey Compton Norton. So shout out to the people on the East Bank and on the Suzak Linden Highway.
And to the people in Georgetown, if you have any doubts about where you have to vote, contact somebody at Congress Place and you will be assisted.
Great. Excellent, ladies. We'll go now to that slide number 3 as we close. As you know, I always encourage you to pray on Mondays, 6 to 6. our National Day of Prayer. Give to the campaign, volunteer with the campaign. We're all volunteers, actually. Check the APNU social media platforms daily. Of course, read the manifesto. It is coming. It's going to drop real soon. And then you will have your own copy to read. Go vote. Let me ask you a question. Maybe you can drop it quickly in the chat. How are you praying for the APNU? How are you praying for the country? How are you praying for the elections? It is really, really important that we pray. So, ladies, Cynthia, let's put up, if we can have that final slide, thanking our technical people, our makeup artists, our APNU coordinator, our flyer creator, our discussion panelists today, Cynthia, Dawn, Adriana. It's been wonderful. We got to do this again.
Sure.
Yes, and we just really, really thank you for, if you can put back up that slide, we have homework. We do have homework, right? So get busy and contact about 5 people, asking them about their ID card. Talk to them about the APNU policies you've heard today. What did we discuss? Health and well-being.
Distribution of oil and gas resources.
Managing our oil wealth.
Women.
And women's rights.
And women's opportunities. All right. So long. Thank you, viewers, for being with us here on another episode. And we look forward to you next Monday. We will have some other dynamic panelists. Go vote. And if you're in the diaspora, you're watching me from New York, go give a call, give a WhatsApp call to your family and friends here, those first-time voters, and tell them to go vote. Have a great evening. Thank you for being here.
You think I foolish? Ain't nobody playing. I voting up new. You could come with.
Be part of the APNU Motorcade on Sunday, the 10th of August. We head to Linden Town. Jump in a car, jump in a bus, hop on a bike. Once it's rolling, we're moving. But wait, Berbice, Region 4, Georgetown, Region 3. No man moves alone. With the APNU, we're moving together. Assembly Point Square of the Revolution at 11 a.m., where we will pour libation. The motorcade leaves at 12 noon. We head to the town where the bauxite is found. Linden Town. Get your rags, get your flags, get something green and be seen on Sunday the 10th of August on the Square of the Revolution at 11 a.m. The motorcade heads to Linden Town at 12 noon. APNU.
I got a voice and I go